or just plain coordination at all, but it's gotten out of hand what's been happening. All right. We moved out here and I've like don't know what happened. I mean, hey, I love it out here. Everything's great, but I seem to have lost all ability to function. I drop things constantly now. And I would love to blame my vision and all that wackadoo-ness, but quite honestly, it's getting way out of hand. I'll give you for instance, because I know all you guys are like, well, you got to give us examples over here. Here's one. I'm in the kitchen cleaning up dinner, frying pans. I'm cleaning a frying pan, and I've got it on the little dry rack thing. You know, the cheater way to clean, right? You clean, and then you let a rack dry it, right? You just let it sit there. And when I was a kid, it was always like it was like a work train. First, you let it soak, then you rinse it off and scrub, then you put it in the dishwasher, then you dry it after the dishwasher to put it back. And then when I got older, I was like, wait a minute, what's this rack? And I'm like, oh, it's a drying rack. You just leave wet, dishes on there and it'll dry. And I'm like, you telling me I've been drying things this whole time? So I was leaving things on the rack and it fell, right? And I've been just through this slew of just dropping things, knocking things over, just for no reason, right? For just things are around me, they're gonna fall. And I'm one of those people that like catches it falling and it's like slow motion where you could reach out and grab it. You're just incapable. And then you realize it's fallen and it's made a huge noise, and that's when you like try to like go and grab for it. Like that's when you were gonna catch it. Like, oh no, there's still time after the noise and everything has already happened. I know you're catching my drift. So I'm like, what? So this frying pan fell, right? And we live on a second story in an apartment. And I'm just, especially my girlfriend's like, we're, you can't keep making all this noise. So I thought, and that's the other thing. Not only am I become a klutz, just sometimes my brain is just has just left the building. Cause in that moment, I was like, oh no, the frying pan, and I saw it in slow motion. And instead of trying to like reach out and grab it, I didn't want it to like bang on the floor. So I tried to reach out with my foot and like kick it or like take some of the heat so that the floor didn't. And I basically kicked a metal fry. I know a lot of people are like, what is this guy thinking? That's what I'm thinking right now as I'm telling you. Like, why would I kick this thing? It hurts so bad. I mean, rightfully so. If you kick a falling frying pan to like save the noise, like not only do you deserve the pain that's coming to you, like, because the thing still fell on the floor and made a noise, but it also just damaged my foot. Like, it was a lose lose scenario. Like, not only could I physically, like, when you feel somebody's like upset with you, you hear it, especially for those of us in a relationship, you can hear them coming like, oh, I didn't do something. But this time, sometimes you can feel it down in your bones. And when that thing crashed on the floor, I knew she would be upset. I knew she heard it because it still made a noise. But what she didn't hear, because she wasn't what didn't see, right? She wasn't in the room. Was I kicked it with my toe, and on my toes in ferocious pain. And I'm going way too into this. So I've been just a giant, klutz. And even like today, we were like running out to just go and like look around, and I just like knocked something over on the ground, and she looked at me. When you get those eyes, like you've messed up, and I'm just so over it right now. Like you gotta quit it. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And it's when I like responded with something like, and I apologize for what I said, but like, and it wasn't mean to her. I just said like, I got to be like one of those animals soon that you're just gonna have to take out and shoot. And I thought for sure she was gonna go, you can't say that's a horrible thing to say. You can't say that. And it is a horrible thing to say, but like, it's a apt way of how I was feeling because I just have been knocking everything over. And without hesitation, she goes, yeah, I'm gonna have to. And that's when you know, right? Like it's one thing to be joking around and be like, oh, like I'll get sympathy for this, all right? Because you feel kind of bad for knocking everything over, and you can see the hatred in the eyes. So I figured, oh, I'll break the tension with something ridiculous. So I was like, oh, you'll just have to take me out back like a maimed animal, and you know. And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I mean, it just cuts you right to the core, right? I mean, I guess that's her way of saying, like, please, like, not please. I guess the please part is out of it. It is quit knocking things over and making a bunch of noise that is unnecessary. And, of course, I told her that I kicked the frying pan, going back to the earlier thing. And she was like, why? You're dumb. And that is the one time, there are very few times, because that's one of those comments I get a lot. And I'm like, hey, that's not accurate. But this time I was like, even as you're telling, when you're telling a story, you can tell, like, this is a dumb thing. And me kicking a frying pan as it's falling just to, like, save, like, the noise, like, what kind of dumb thing is that? So there you go. Can we talk about how cool Armageddon, like the Flash crossover event, is? I mean, if you haven't been watching it, they're putting together some good television. I mean, this is one of the best scratch, like, great crossover event. This is great Flash television. Like, I gotta keep saying it because it keeps blowing me away. And we're in the midst of just like prime time, like movies and TV. Like, I don't know if you've been living under a rock lately, but oh my goodness, we just have access to everything. And the Flash, it's. I'm sitting there week to week going, what did I miss? When did this start? Oh my good, the story is so good. Okay, so part 4. I'm going to jump into it a little bit. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a recap, but I just kind of want to talk about Reverse Flashpoint. I mean, Reverse Flash did the thing that Barry did, but in his own way, and then won. Okay, how many times do we see the villain like completely win and get his way and do everything that they're supposed to do? This is like class A villainy work right here, okay? He not only takes the Flash's life, right? Like Reverse Flash becomes the Flash, right? Because he's like killed, spoiler alert, he's killed Joe West, Barry's dad. He's eliminated like a bunch of things throughout the timeline to kind of make it so that he became the Flash. Iris West fell in love with him, and Barry is the Reverse Flash and is actually being erased from the timeline because of this flashpoint that Reverse Flash has created. Not only that, to his face, right? This all Reverse Flash like tells Barry this all to his face. He then goes, I also did the thing I've always wanted to do, which is I killed you. And not only did he kill him, he killed him as a child. I mean, this is like, what? I mean, they're going all the way, and it is, I'm getting all of it. So then you got Barry as the Reverse Flash, which, oh my goodness, it was giving me some Savitar vibes, and I was loving every moment of it. I mean, just a few little moments of him going, we can kill them later. And just these little hints of like villainy, like it's in there. I mean, it may not be in like, Barry Allen the Flash, but it's in that, like, that actor's got some depth. Okay, so I mean, and it's just so cool to see him in the Reverse Flash's suit, like running around, like fighting the good guys, because now everybody's on Reverse's Flash's side. Even Iris West is like, this is like they're getting married, right? This is 10 years in the future, and it's like, what the? But Iris kind of knows that something is off, which is a great like parallel to just like the connection of love and all this and all that kind of mumbo jumbo. And they do it very artfully. Like they don't dive too much into it and they don't make it cheesy, but there's just enough of a hint of it where you can understand like how strong their relationship is and how important it is until the in the end. And one of like the main things is like Iris has no idea what to say to Eobard Thawne, who she's supposed to be marrying and knows she loves, but she just doesn't understand why. But she feels like there's a connection with Barry, and that's why like he's able to kind of like save the day ish. Because boy, oh boy, do we get into Armageddon. I know, I'm just going to like be like going, oh my boy, oh my boy. Like, oh boy. And then go and talking about things. So, what? I mean, it turns out that Barry not only has to work with Damien Dark, which, by the way, that's some great stuff. And the whole like parent relationship, diving into that and like kind of understanding like a love for like a child. And I mean, it is really like kind of brought to the surface of how important that connection is. And it's always kind of been like explained, and I personally don't know, but when it's explained there, like you can feel like the connection, especially, I mean, Damien, he plays it so, I mean, not, he doesn't play it well. I mean, it is him. I mean, he truly like loves his daughter so much. He's willing to go against his nature, right? Just to save his daughter, which is so crazy. Like to go against everything that who you are just to save somebody, which is against everything you believe in, and to give up your life. Like he's gonna give up everything just so his daughter like that to just that it really understands like the connection that a parent shares and the importance that a parent has to let that kid, because Damien's whole thing is just wanted his kid to be alive, right? Wasn't trying to like force like the kid to be bad or do this or do that. Just loved the kid so much, would give anything just for the kid to have a chance at life. And that right there is just like, wow, so it was played out so well. And so also we get to find out that Armageddon that Barry causes, that Barry's like, I'm not gonna cause because Reverse Flash like did everything, I mean, to the core. He did his role. But Barry's like, I'm not going to cause Armageddon. But he actually, well, he does have to. He has to do Armageddon because he's got to run super fast, open up a portal. I know this is going to be some science stuff. Well, not science, well, science fiction-y stuff. Because I'm going to explain it poorly anyway. So it's poor science fiction-y stuff. He runs into a portal to go back in time to fix all the events. And Damien's got a time stone. No, it's not Marvel, but he's got a time stone somehow. Magic. Let's just leave it at that. DC, I mean, it's comics. What do you want? And they're going to reset all the anachronisms. Ooh, you see, that was a little science fiction, which is all like the issues that Reverse Flash caused for this Reverse Flashpoint to be. Is going to erase all of that and hopefully, one, save Damien's daughter and reset everything, and Barry gets to be the Flash again. So he's got to cause Armageddon, but if it doesn't work, like everything's going to be destroyed because how fast he's got to run around the Earth, it's going to do something to the molten core, which will cause like tsunamis and earthquakes and disaster. So it's like a 2% chance he saves everything, 98% chance he blows everything up, and it's all Reverse's Flash's fault. But of course, like, Flash is gonna kind of cause Armageddon. I don't know why I'm going into all this. You guys can watch the episode. But I'm like, what is happening? Of course, like, and then he saves the day. Of course, like the Flash saves everything. But this is part 4. There's one more episode. Like, what? I thought there was gonna be like a cliffhanger. I mean, there kind of was a cliffhanger, but I kind of thought like there was gonna be like what is there just gonna be some like afterthought in the next one? Like, was this the main good cabra? Like, was this the main show? I don't know. So I'm super excited. You guys gotta let me know what you guys thought of part 4. Yeah, you got Magic, you got Damien Dark, you got Frost, you got fight scenes, you got it all. I mean, it was a really fun episode. I can't wait for part 5, and we'll see you guys all there. It's the Flash, everybody. and I can't. I mean, I'm pumped. Let's do it.